Hey, what's oh, whoa, no, okay. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Okay, so that is a lot better and a little colder, but that's all right. So you guys really seem to enjoy my last week's video when I talked about building my bag for putters. I got almost 20 likes, so I think that's in kind of a needs to be sequelized. That's not a word, but we're gonna stick with it. We're gonna go on to mid-ranges, and we can see that I've had a lot of time with some different kind of mid-ranges, and I gotta narrow it down to see which ones are gonna in my bag. So let's find out let's find out my thought process. Man, words are hard. So I think the smarter thing to do is we're going to go from understable to most overstable with a little bit of kind of skipping around here and there. But to start, I used to bag, or for 2018, the end of 2018, I bagged a Star Mako 3, and this was actually part of the set of my first disc that I bought. So this is kind of 4 or 5 years old. So you can tell that it's gotten pretty beat in. It's pretty understable. I can put it on a pretty significant hyzer, and it'll flip up flat and go to the right. So basically, these two discs are fighting for that kind of straighter to turn to the right shot. And really what I wanted to focus on was that turn to the right. So the disc that I got in a mystery box was the Discmania C-Line MD. And a lot of people said they really like this for straight with a little bit of turn to the right. And to words, when I first got it, it felt pretty comfortable in the hand. I really liked the stamp. That was one thing that attracted me. And it was a disc that kind of filled a slot that I needed, and it was that kind of straight shot. So, you know, I'm practicing in the field, seeing what disc I like better. The one thing that kind of the Mako 3 stuck out was that it felt better in my hand, and it filled the shot better. It filled that kind of, if I needed it to go super straight, I can give it a pretty good hyzer, flip it up, and then go straight, maybe a little bit of fade. And if I really needed a turnover, I can trust this thing to go to the right no matter what. So it didn't really matter what angle. If I threw it to the right power, it's going to the right. And that's something that I can really liked about the Mako 3, because I could trust it, and I knew that it was going to go to the right when I needed it to go to the right. And I didn't really kind of feel that the MD I could trust as much as my Mako 3. Also because kind of the Mako 3 has been 4 years in the making of beating it in, so it's going to be flying like a beat-in disc. So the MD, sadly, is going to be not in the bag. I think I just hit something that's not good. So I said I was going to go by stability, and this is where I said kind of. So one disc that I was kind of messing around with, and I still, we're going to just say it's kind of was just a learning process, and that is the Rat. So what people like about the Rat is it's super duper flat, if you can tell, and that people liked it for that sidearm shot. Personally, it does not feel comfortable for my sidearm. I don't know what about it. It just does not feel as comfortable as I would want. It's just like right here, it just feels awkward. And I feel like I'll get a little bit, like, I'll turn my wrist. I don't know. It just doesn't feel that comfortable. And it's just, personally, I just didn't like the flight for it. I just couldn't get a good read on the disc. So just for that reasons, it's not in the bag. Oh my God, I gotta stop hitting that. Next, we're going to go to a disc that I kind of enjoyed in the beginning, and that was these MD4s. I had a C-Line and a stiff P-Line. And what I really liked about them in the beginning was there was no bead. There's like the smallest micro bead in the world, if you can even notice it. And that it had the same numbers as a Rock 3. Rock 3. Yeah, Rock 3. And the one thing that kind of just I didn't personally like about the Rock 3 was that little indent or that little bead, and it just was kind of annoying to me. So when I got the, oh my God, I hit myself in the face. So when I got the MD4, I really enjoyed that there was no bead, and I felt like I could kind of grip and rip this thing, and I could just do what I would want with the Rock 3. And same thing with that MD4, kind of my thought process with the stiff P-Line was I'm going to beat this thing in, it's going to fly super straight, I'll be able to flip it up, do whatever I want with it. Again, it has that no bead. And yeah, so that's what kind of my thought process was. But then, as the more I threw and the more I kind of just got to thinking, I really enjoyed the Rock. Where? Oh, there it is. I really enjoyed the Rock, guys. So what I used to throw was a V-Rock. And I aced it with a V-Rock. So yeah, V-Rock. This is a underrated. This is a very underrated disc, and not a lot of people throw the V-Rock, or I don't really notice a lot of people throwing the V-Rock. I notice people throwing the Rock. And the thing that really attracted me was the bead. It's different than a rock bead, as you can see. They're you can just see that it doesn't have this little part right here to it. So I kind of like that in the beginning, and the more I kind of realized what discs I like and how I like throwing the discs was, I'm not a fan of deep discs, and the V-Rock is deeper than a rock, and I think that's due to that it's not a super board flat disc. It has a little bit of a dome to it, and then it goes flat. So with that, it made it just that much deeper, and it just makes my hand just that much more uncomfortable, and it just seemed, for me, it feels like I pulled the disc, or I don't know what. It might be just my brain. It might just be throwing me off, but I don't really like how deep it is. So even though the V-Rock was in the bag at one point, it is no longer going to be in the bag. So now I'm thinking, well, what is going to be my main mid-range disc? If it's not going to be the MD4, if it's not going to be the Rat, is it not going to be the V-Rock? Something that I've kind of learned or taught myself to trust was rocks. These are the good old classic rocks that everybody loves. So first we're going to go with this R Pro rock. The first thing that I noticed about this disc is that it's, for at least this one, it is understable. So I can throw this thing either hyzer. If I throw it flat, it's going to go to the right. And I don't need a disc to fly that way because I have the Mako 3. So really, the R Pro rock, I've kind of been throwing it just on super hyzers to get it to flip up to kind of like go as straight as possible. But, you know, that's not the flight I want, so that's going down there. And we're going to go look at this DX rock that I really, really enjoy. So the thing about the DX rock is that it feels very comfortable in the hand. It has the perfect shallowness and the flat top. It just feels really comfortable in my hand, and that's one thing that I really, really need in a disc is the comfortability, and I just need to be able to trust it. And you guys might be thinking, well, hey, dummy, it has the thing that you've said that you don't like so many times. Well, this is kind of where I said I taught myself how to like it, which I don't really suggest, but I did it, and now I can't not throw rocks because I kind of just taught myself on how to love this little bead to it, and I did exactly that. Now I don't even notice it. It feels very comfortable in the hand, and I can trust my rock. So I ordered 2 DX rocks. So this one's not going to be my bag because I don't like throwing this one because look how pretty the stamp is, and that's on my wall. So you go back over there. So I ordered 2 DX rocks that are going to be coming in, and I'm going to start beating it in, and that's going to be my kind of straight to maybe a little bit of fade mid-range. Also, we got the Rock 3 going in the bag just because if I need something to trust in the wind, if I need something with a little bit more fade than the DX rocks, I can know that I can have this Rock 3 in the bag to trust. So with that, MD4s go over there. Lastly, we're going to go to the disc in my bag that I need for either sidearm shots or very overstable mid-range shots. And again, there's 2 discs fighting for that spot. We have the Disc Mania Metal Flake MD5 and the Star Cayman. These 2 discs have the same exact numbers, so I can kind of just guarantee they're going to be as overstable mid-range. I know what they're going to do. They basically do the same exact thing, but what it comes down to is that comfortability factor. As you can see, the MD5 has a bead. The Cayman does not. If you guys have noticed a tendency, I do not like beads, or I don't prefer them. So, the Cayman's going in the bag. Now I had to think to myself, well, do I want the Champion Cayman in the bag or the Star? Well, you can, oh my gosh. Well, Champion, our discs are supposed to be, you know, more overstable, but again, I'm going to the comfortability factor. This one is board flat. This one's got a little bit of a dome to it. This one feels more comfortable in my hand for sidearming. That's kind of one of the main things I want out of this disc, is it to be a sidearm mid-range, just because I don't feel very comfortable sidearming mid-rangers and putters, so I really need the disc to feel comfortable in my hand, and this Star Cayman does exactly that. I don't know if it's just that it's not board flat, or if it's the Star Plastic. Well, I mean, I really do like sidearming Star Plastic more than Champion. I think that's just in my head kind of thing, but I prefer it. So the Star Cayman is going in the bag. There we go, guys. Boom. Those are my mid-ranges. That's kind of my thought process. Again, like I said, drop a comment down below if there's any other disc that I should try out and that maybe will take over in my bag. But that was kind of just my thought process of what's going to be in my bag for 2019. Again, it is not set. This is not an in the bag. That will be coming when I have everything figured out. And I can safely say right now, it seems as though that I got my bag 95% sure. I kind of got to get discs to come in from the mail, but it seems very likely that I know my bag, guys. But make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Make sure to hit that bell so you get notifications on all the new videos, and subscribe down below. But that's all I got today, guys. Make sure you keep throwing.